Dr. Peace in the house. Another day, not another dollar. Beautiful people out there, man. I hope your weekend's been blessed. I got a special guest for you, Mr. Arthur Delaney. One of my favorite people, brother of mine. He's going to give you some insight on peace and how to obtain that peace. It's real talk going on up in here. Real talk. I'm telling you, it's real talk. So let's get down to it. Let's make it happen. And let's ask some questions. Arthur Delaney, roll through, brother. I must say, we're at his Stogie Lounge right now.
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
usually you're at mine.
Yes, sir.
Now we're at his.
Yes.
So we're kicking some game to you. Couple old cats from back in the day, but we got some knowledge.
Yes.
And there's one thing that we appreciate. That's that peace.
Absolutely.
That's that peace.
Absolutely.
We love that peace. So Mr. Arthur Delaney's here. You see him, he's kicking the vintage, right? You know how we do it. This is
Yes,
how
sir.
we do it now. It
Yes,
took a while
sir.
to be able to do this stuff.
Absolutely.
But now we're doing it. So he's going to
Absolutely.
give you some knowledge. So Arthur, give him some background of yourself and, where you come from and how you've been able to get to where you are and how you find that peace. That's the key. How you find that peace.
Well, absolutely. First of all, I want to.
Oh, hold on. I gotta interject. Listen, my people out there, you know what we do. Don't forget, subscribe, hit the like button, and share. It's all about the stogie time first. First, we gotta light up. I can't listen. We're authentic in here. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We're authentic. Listen, we don't do no editing. We don't do none of that. It's straight real goods here. So we don't care if we mess up. We got to interject. Doesn't matter. But we got to get this stogie on.
Okay.
So we got to light this bad boy up first
Alrighty.
before we get right into it.
Yes.
Right? Let me light it up. Let me light this up.
Got it. Cut it there.
See, I'm using Arthur's
Torch.
magical torch, right?
Cigar torch.
You see in the background, while we're waiting, you see his Scotch collections, right? You guys, he's got some big Scotch back here. You were talking 21s, 24s. We're talking all the big shots back here. And this is what we do because we've been able to find that peace. I keep telling you guys, you got to find that peace, but it's not easy. There's people out there right now watching, wondering how can we get that peace, and why? Where is it coming from? Who's giving me the ideas, brother?
Absolutely.
Talk to them, man. Talk to them.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you first for having me on your blog, on your podcast here. It's a pleasure.
He's the first.
He's
He's the first of the real talk. We're gonna kick that off once a month. I'm gonna bring in new people. Once a month, real talk.
Yes. So it's greatly appreciated being
Okay.
here. When we talk about peace, having a state of peace, acquiring it, and once again, James and I, we do get together often for a stogie, and we have an opportunity to have some great dialogue. And I can only speak from my perspective, being here with Dr. Peace, and that is, I believe when it comes to peace, it always comes at a cost. How we view it, peace to me, could be different for somebody else. But if I could, I'd like to just kind of rewind and speak of a situation that happened years ago. I'm not sure if I ever told you what happened. One time I paid a visit down to the state of Kentucky, who I have a cousin down there. He had a beautiful, beautiful waterfront property. And so one day he had a visitor that came to his house. Didn't even knock on the door. He just went down to the dock and he pulled a chair out and he sat there.
Oh yeah, I heard this story.
Yeah. And so I had said to my cousin, I said, well, who's this older gentleman down there that's sitting on your dock next to my cousin's boat?
Right.
So my cousin says, you're not going to believe it. So I said to him, well, tell me a little bit about him. Anyway, this individual that came to to his house and that was down on the dock was a multi-millionaire, close to being a billionaire. And he sat down on the dock. I'll never forget it. I'm looking out through the glass window at this
Right.
man. And he sat there for hours with a chair with his legs crossed. And I said to my cousin, I said, well, why is he here? You know, he's a multi-millionaire. And he said he comes down a couple of times a week. He pulls out his own little chair. He had like a lawn chair, nothing fancy.
Right.
And anyways, he sat there and he constantly would look out. And my cousin told me that he comes down here and he sits on this deck on the dock.
Excuse me.
And once again,
We're authentic here. We're pouring a drink right now.
And he
Don't
sits
worry
there,
about it.
and he says, and my cousin sits down there with him sometimes, and he would say, I come down here for peace. Once again, he ran several successful businesses, mega businesses. And he would just sit there and he said, I sit here because, and I have a conversation with you, speaking to my cousin Curtis. He says, because nobody wants anything from me. And I get an opportunity just to look out into the water where no one's bothering me. And I get to do this a few times a week where it was his time, his space, and he developed his peace. I thought it was kind of crazy at the time because I figured that this man has enough money to go anywhere in the world and find peace and even buy peace. But his peace was just sitting on that dock with nobody around him, just staring out into the water, thinking. And he later said that was the best part of his day. You know, finding that type of peace. I never knew until years later what that feeling was going to be like. You know, I sought peace. I think that we live in a chaotic world, a world full of misery. There's problems every day that people got to go through, you know, financially, family problems, health problems. You have got to find some time to be able to get away, to get your time.
Exactly.
You know, to have your time to simply sit back and just relax. No noise, no nothing, whatever it is. Maybe it is listening to music, you know, if you have a basement or somewhere in your house where you're listening to music or if you're just sitting down, but you gotta find time for yourself. I call it me time.
So let me interject a bit.
Sure.
And ask you a question now.
Sure.
It's all good for the ones who are able to do it, right? They have the time, they got the money to be able to relax and sit back. Now, what about those who are, you know, just struggling to maybe look for a job? Maybe they don't have a place to live. How can you give some insight on how they can start obtaining that peace? What do they have to do to get to that level? And it's tough because, you know what? We weren't there before. We were working 3-4 jobs back in the day.
Right.
We didn't have time to find that peace.
Right.
It was always about the hustle mode, right? So, and then we were building a family. So at that stage in our life, you know, we weren't ready for it.
Right.
So is it a stage where, okay, you got to be a certain age to get to that point? Or can you start obtaining this stuff at a younger age?
Well, you can. I didn't really start building, you know, my assets until I was in my late 30s. And trust me, at the time, I was going through a lot of issues. I had some health issues back then, as you know, financial issues. But I had 4 jobs. I was working 4 jobs, long commutes on the highway, you name it.
Right.
And I was able to buy my first property, as you know,
That's
right? I kept grinding through it all. Just, you know, wanting something better.
That first property was actually a duplex, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a 5-level bath split.
It wasn't just one house.
Yeah.
It was 2 houses.
And I continued to work hard, you know, because that's what it's all about. It is all about dreaming, right? My biggest thing to your audience would be is that if you have dreams and aspirations, you do not allow anybody to interfere with that. That's where it all starts. It all starts with having dreams and aspirations that, you know what, I can build a better life for myself. However, it's not going to come easy. You have got to grind. And there's always going to be adversity, right?
So what does that grind look like?
That grind looks like, being able to maintain a job, being able to maintain your employment, right?
Right.
Being able to even come home to a household of peace,
Sacrifice.
it comes down to sacrifice. As I alluded to, I was able to buy my first 5-level back split, kept working. A year later, I bought the neighbor's 5-level back split. So I think I owned the whole corner back then. And then when I did that, but I was dreaming all along though. I was still dreaming that I could accomplish.
And you were doing that while going through financial turmoil years before.
Yes, and relationship issues as well. I still had my daughter at that time, but you know what?
We're kicking it real here.
Yeah.
Subscribe, hit the like button,
yeah,
and share. It's real talk going on up in here. Mr. Arthur Delaney is kicking it real. He's exposing himself to you all. Listen to the strategies. That's what's happening right now. We just want to give peace to everybody. Trust me, it took a while for us to get this peace, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's not easy to find this peace. And we just want to give it to you all. And you all got to take it in and start learning, man. Learning from this stuff.
Yeah.
Because you need it. Okay, sorry to cut you off. Listen, this is what we do. Dr. Peace in the house.
So I ended up buying 3 properties. And then one day I said, you know what? And I was surrounding myself around good people. People that were really positive.
Right.
When you're on your grind and you're dreaming, you cannot be around negative individuals. You need to cut them off right away. You have to 100%. Be able to. You have to be able to cut them off.
That's right.
Anyway, so I had 3 properties, as I alluded to, and then I figured that I'm going to sell all of my properties and I'm going to buy a property with land.
Right.
And I think at that point in time, I went out and I purchased. I sold them all, and I moved to the country and I bought some land. I think about an acre.
Right.
Right. And I think after that, a few years passed. I got married, and one of the very, very important things is that when you're on your grind, you make sure that you find somebody that supports your grind. You make sure that you find someone who supports your dreams. Not 50% of it. They're all in with you. So they believe in you as much as you believe in yourself, because that's going to be able to lead to your peace as well.
Okay, quick question.
Sure.
So you can marry somebody. You still love them, but they might not be 100% into your dreams.
Right.
That means you got to be able to empower yourself to be able to blank out the negativity and still stay focused.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there, a lot of males. Listen, their wives or significant others have been able to squash their dreams. And to me, I look at them as they failed themselves. Because we can't control how a person's going to be. You can go in their background and check and see if your wife is this, that, and everything else. But people can come up and end up turning into different people.
Well, they can, right? They can. But I believe, Jamie, that you have to be very strong-minded.
Right.
It's funny when you run into people and they'll tell you what their dreams and aspirations are one day. You run into them 5 years later and you ask them what their dreams and aspirations, and they'll tell you the same thing.
Right.
But they've never worked on those dreams and aspirations. They might say, I couldn't do it because, my girlfriend didn't believe in me. My friends didn't believe in me. My wife didn't believe in me. Meanwhile, somebody else had taken the same idea, went out there and made it happen.
So the point is, you got to believe in yourself, because you're going to have obstacles anyway. You're going to have people hating on you. Yeah. You're going to have all that stuff's going to happen, but it's that inner strength that's going to be able to give you that peace. Am I right?
And it is. And I think as a part of peace, people are struggling with, with their own challenges in terms of they have dreams and aspirations.
Right.
And they don't know how to go about it. Mm-hmm. And every day it's somewhat of a struggle. Let's face it. 99% of the people don't like working for the man.
Right.
And now you've got to be able to think outside of the box, and you've got to be doing something, as we talk about when we do get together for our stogie. You do something every day to support your dreams. If the whole world don't believe in your dreams, is irrelevant as long as you believe in your dreams and you're making it happen.
That's right.
Right? That's exactly what it's about. And you're always doing something a little every day. The people that you meet every single day, these are the individuals that can come by and champion and help you with your goals and aspirations. But you got to surround yourself around the right people.
Yeah, you have to be inspired. You're people that you're around every day, like my brother Arthur and myself. When we talk business.
Right.
We talk real life.
Right.
This is how we're talking.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we kick it and we throw ideas back and forth. And the key thing is that he gives his opinion and he respects it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And I respect it and I give my opinion. And we don't agree on everything.
No.
But we're stimulating each other's minds all the time.
Yes.
All the time. I mean, look, there's times when I don't sleep. And I know he's not sleeping either because he's thinking about something and I'm thinking about something. And listen, it's okay to get in 2 hours of sleep if you're dreaming properly.
Yes.
I will say, listen, lose sleep if you're dreaming properly because you want those dreams to come true and you got to put in your work, and putting in the work is dreaming.
And putting in the work as well. I mean, you always got to keep in mind that there's going to be adversity. There's always going to be individuals telling you that you cannot do A and you cannot do B and you cannot do C.
Right.
And it is really just about believing in yourself and putting a plan together and never losing focus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from the ground up. Jamie's from the ground up.
Give him a little bio, because we didn't get into the bio part yet. So let's get into a little bit of a bio about Arthur Delaney, and then and he can talk about our relationship, and then we move on.
Well, I think in terms of a bio, it's rather simple. I mean, I grew up in New Brunswick.
If you don't know about New Brunswick,
yeah,
it's in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
Because we're nationwide here.
Yeah.
Dr. Peace is nationwide, worldwide. You might not know where New Brunswick is, but it's a port city.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's a port city, and a very important port city. Okay, sorry.
And single mother, family on, social assistance. 5 of us in, small apartment. And I think just to add to that, ended up moving I went to university in Nova Scotia, St. Mary's University, graduated from there. Ended up moving up here to Toronto, about 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And
from much of those up around the same time. Yeah. Very close.
Struggled. And as I alluded to, end up working 4 jobs.
I got to give you guys a quick. I gotta give you a quick little story. So we used to hang in Halifax back in the day. We just end up we were competitors, right? So we were rivals, but we always had that close connection. Then later on, we found out that there's bloodlines that were very close. Right?
That's right. Yes.
We found out that we're actually distant cousins and all that stuff. But it's funny how the Creator puts people together, because when he drops in Halifax, I'm already in Halifax.
Yes.
We hadn't seen each other for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We connect and we're hanging tight, hitting the clubs and this and that. So fast forward, I arrive in Toronto. I'm at this club, and I was the type of guy, I always rolled solo. I already knows that. I was a solo guy.
Yes.
I didn't need too many people around me. All of a sudden, I looked up. I see Artie. We called him Artie. That's his nickname.
Right.
We called him Artie. Artie says, "Fraser, what's going on?" We were at some club downtown, and then we just hung. From then, we were hanging since.
Yes.
And that's probably been, got to be in the 30s now.
And here's the funny thing is that we hang out quite often, and
his kids are they call me uncle, and and my kids call him uncle. So it's a real family dynamic that we've been able to establish up in this big city of ours,
and one in which I truly appreciate. As we grow older, there's one thing I always say is that our circle of friends becomes smaller for whatever reason. Some drop off, some we have odds with. We're always trying to see rid of that negative energy.
Right.
So we don't like to be around anything that's too negative. So as long as I have one or two good friends in life, I guess I'm good. As long as I can sit down and we have these stogie moments, and it's all about the peace, right?
It's about the peace.
And when you're looking for the peace, sometimes you've got to see rid of all that other negative energy that's around you. That could be family, that could be friends, whatever it might be. That's why it comes at a cost. Sometimes.
That's right.
It comes at a cost sometimes. But
what can we give the last? I'll give you the last words regarding peace to our audience out there that are struggling, trying to find peace. We got to cut it down soon because we're going overtime now, and commercials are coming up, and we got to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and keep it moving. Okay, so give them a little insight. How are we gonna help those people that aren't established like we are, and are struggling, and they can't really see the whole vision, right? It's like it's so far away from them.
Well, the one thing that I would like to say is, especially for any young people that are watching this, or for everybody actually, is that dream big. Think outside the box. Like some of you may have a job that you're going to,
right,
and there might be that side business, that side hustle that you want to get going. Focus on that. Do something every day to work on that, and just don't lose sight of your dreams. Right. Keep people around you that are going to be positive, that are going to support you. You know what I mean? Move in silence, but constantly, remain focused. And I believe I'm a testimony to everything that I'm saying. Like I said, coming from the ground up, and now I have a multi-million-dollar estate that I can sit on and bring all the boys up, and we sit by the water and we got peace. But that's not the path for everybody. I hope that everyone can accomplish something like that. But it's all about your goals, and the support around you. I have a very supportive wife, who's all in, believes in me and whatever I do, and I hope that you have a partner or family support, friend support that will also assist you. But anything negative, it's got to go to the left. It's got to go to the left, and you got to remain positive in achieving whatever your goals and aspirations may be. Yeah.
Beautiful. Brother Arthur, I appreciate you.
Yes, man. Yes.
Thanks for coming on.
I appreciate you.
He's the first.
Okay.
The first of the real talk.
Yes.
I'm coming at you. I'll be bringing more insight, more people on. I'm telling you, we're going to light it up.
Positive energy.
It's banging.
It's got to be positive.
It's banging. Dr. Peace in the house. Until next time, nothing but love for you. Peace. And I'm out. We keep it authentic.